Middle Georgia, help welcome to the WDDO Sunday lineup, the Mount Lebanon Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Henderson Coswell, from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And Macon Call to Action with Mr. Alec Habersham, Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. Don't miss it right here on 107.9 FM and 980 a.m. WDDO.
Middle Georgia, WDDO 980 AM proud to welcome NAACP President Gwenette Westbrooks and Vice President Willie Dumas for their weekly broadcast every Monday from 4 until 5 p.m. on The Glory, 980 AM WDDO.
Attention pastors and worship leaders. Will your church sound system and video presentation be ready for Easter services this year? Are you having feedback problems? Do microphone and mixers need upgrading? Or if your live streaming quality is less than satisfactory, don't get frustrated. Call Chuck today at Bill Hart Music in Macon, 478-781-1112. Bill Hart Music specializes in sound systems and video repair, or complete new systems design and installation. And pastors, Bill Hart Music just received a large PV shipment, Bluetooth mixers, monitors, speakers, power amps, power speakers, and the new RH28. Desktop digital mixers is all in stock today. Don't forget, Bill Hart Music has a great selection of pianos, guitars, amps, drums, and instruments, and accessories.
Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB,
Macon, and WDDO 980 AM
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It's now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrooks and Mr. Dumas.
Good evening and welcome once again to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. We'll be joined later by President Westbrooks, and so happy to have you join us today on a very beautiful day. Okay, we were having a little technical difficulty there. Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us this evening with the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. And of course, we'll be joined by President Westbrooks a little later in the show. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a great Resurrection Sunday, a happy Easter, a Good Friday, and all of those great events that took place this past weekend. With some, well, I won't say absolutely lovely weather, but the weather turned out to be pretty good. Just a little rain here and there. And so we hope your celebration wasn't rained on and that you were able to enjoy this great weather. Today, we got a good show, I believe a good show. We've got some interesting topics to talk about today. We don't really have a special guest joining us today, but we do want to touch on some of the new laws in the state of Georgia that kind of have creeped up on us. We have a new election coming up in May, also in November, the national election that will take place. And we, as an organization, always emphasize the importance of voting and making sure you're registered to vote. And so we're yet pushing that. We're still in our soapbox, getting our community to get out and vote. Have noticed even here over the weekend, violence still plagues our city. And so it's left up to all of us to make sure that we're keeping ourselves safe, watching our environments, being careful, what we're doing. I understand there was I believe it was a Family Dollar that was robbed over the weekend in our very own corner. Mr. Leon Jones was kind of caught in the crossfire. He was there in the facility when the robbery took place. And so we never know when crime's going to present itself. And so we got to always be vigilant to make sure we're protecting ourselves. The governor has imposed a new law that he just signed. We want to talk about that law a little bit today. One of them being, let's see here, Senate Bill 218, I believe it is. Let me make certain. Yes, Senate Bill, House Bill 218 and Senate Bill 319, constitutional carry. Um, that gives individuals that don't have felonies on their record or don't have a criminal record the opportunity to carry a firearm without a license. If you have some concerns about this, we'd love to hear from you. You can give us a call here at the radio station at 478-250-1444. Once again, that number is 478-250-1444. Constitutional carry, your ability to carry a firearm without a license here in the state of Georgia. Some of the questions and some of the concerns that have come about, in particularly dealing with this particular bill, is will you be able to carry outside of the state of Georgia? And that's one of the questions that a lot of people are posing about this particular law. We do know that even though you have the constitutional right to carry according to this law, there are still implications as you enter into certain places, such as airports, churches, and other venues that you may not be able to carry a firearm. So a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts as it relates to this constitutional carry. And so you want to make certain that you know the letter of the law before you start implementing it. And so we do want to also emphasize that there's some pro-gun advocates that are against the law, which I found kind of surprising. But there are some groups that are pro-gun, and they are actually going against this particular bill, simply because some of the concerns they have is that many of the people that are carrying weapons are not trained, may not be trained in carrying those weapons. And so that is a concern. I know we've noticed even on social media where particularly young people, when they get access to a firearm, they don't always have the proper training on how to use that firearm. And that can cause self-harm. It can cause injury to others. So these pro-gun groups are actually going against what our governor has signed into law, this constitutional carry. So once again, if you have a concern, if you would give us a call, we'd like to talk a little bit more on this subject. 478-250-1444. That's about the new gun law that has been passed and signed by Governor Kemp, a constitutional carry. Now, with that particular law in place, I wanted to look at how those two bills actually differ. House Bill 218, it says it ensures that individuals who are licensed to carry a weapon in another state are also authorized to do so here in Georgia, which means that other people outside of the state of Georgia, they can actually come into the state and not have a license and not be legally prosecuted or arrested for that. Now, we don't know if that law holds true in other states. And so if you're from the state of Georgia and you're traveling, let's say, into another state, we don't know if that would hold true for those states. And so it would be incumbent upon each individual to check out the laws if they're particularly traveling to another state and they're carrying their weapon. And so these are some of the things you will have to be mindful of as it relates to this constitutional carry. Also, different establishments, those establishments may not allow, guns in those facilities. As I mentioned earlier, some of those places could be airports as well as religious places such as churches and worship halls. And so you have to know the law to make sure that you're safe from that. Also, we want to talk today about evictions, which are continuing to go on. A lot of people losing their homes There's also an increase in the amount of money that people have to pay for rent. Their rents have been increased, and not just for a small percentage, but a substantial increase. In many cases, people are paying way more, almost double what they paid in the past. And so we want to make sure that you're aware and making sure you're not being victimized by landlords increasing the rent. And so there is some information that President Westbrooks is going to give you today to help assist you in the effort of making certain you're not losing your place of residence simply because of an eviction. And so there are some rights. You do have some rights as it relates to that, and so you need to know what those rights are to protect you from just being thrown on the streets, because that's one of the things we don't want to happen. And so there are a lot of people who are finding themselves in the court system facing eviction almost on a daily basis, and so it's affecting quite a few citizens. And of course, we wanted to make sure that citizens are aware of their rights and that they're under fair treatment and not being discriminated simply because of the ability to pay. Because we do know there were some things put in place um, during COVID-19 that protected homeowners and renters as it related to being able to pay their rent. But of course, there was various forms that had to be filled out in order to ensure that a person wouldn't be evicted. And I believe in many cases we didn't get the information out to the people the way it should have been in order for them to know what they had to do. And so even in that regard, you got to call someone and try to get some help. And NAACP, we would like to hear from you to help you in that situation. If you find yourself being evicted and not knowing what to actually do in that case. And so these are some of the things that continue to kind of plague our community, and we want to help in any way that we can. Also, in our local elections, we have a number of people that are running for various posts in the local election in May. Excuse me. One of those particular categories comes with the water authority, and one of the main positions is the chairmanship. Chairmanship position is now up for election, and so we have various candidates running for those particular positions. And we do know the importance of the water authority and what they actually do here in the city and the county of Bibb. And so those are going to be some pretty interesting races. And so we want to see you turn out for that. We do understand also over the weekend that the Macon Water Authority named one of its buildings after one of our people we've known here in the area for a long time, Mr. Herbert Denard, and they've actually named that center after him. And so that was a very proud moment here in Macon Bibb. I see President Westbrooks has joined us. President Westbrooks, you can go ahead and chime in. I was just letting them know about some of the races that are taking place in May here locally, and how they can show their support.
Yes. Just a couple announcements. The Pan Africa Festival is going to be this weekend at the Coliseum. We will be setting up voter registration at this event, which it will be on Saturday, April the 23rd, and Sunday, April the 24th. And that isn't. It's going to be at the
And that will be in the Coliseum
right
parking lot.
Right. So that will be
Understand.
this.
I also understand they've got some pretty good entertainment lined up.
Supposed to be food, drinks, and like you say, some good entertainment. So we're asking people to come out and support that event. We're normally there doing voter registration. If you're not registered to vote, we're asking for you to please, if you're there, to stop by our table to get registered to vote. Want to talk a little bit about, because this is a crisis that we're still in because of the pandemic. People are still losing their jobs, and still not able to work. And what we're finding out is, in talking to different people, because I want people to understand something, in because I hear people say, it's no excuse. People should, people can work. They have all these jobs out there available. People are always advertising that they have jobs, and that's so true. I see it all the time, and you hear it on the news,
Right.
where that people are hiring, and that they're paying $16 an hour, they're paying $20 an hour. So, and that's true. But what I'm finding out is that, people are some people use the term hopping, but people are changing jobs regularly. They're moving from one job to another. They may stay on a job 3 months and then they change to another job. And what I'm finding out is that even with some of the larger companies, such as, like Amazon, some of these larger companies, and not just larger companies, there, you have Walmart, you have different employers that are advertising that they are hiring. And what I'm finding out is, in talking and speaking with, because of the work that we do, and speaking with a lot of the people in the community, the money is, the hourly pay is correct, but they're not receiving the hours. So anyone that has a family, if you have we know that housing, the inflation of housing has tripled. They've increased the rent. Someone is always texting me 2 and 3 times a day trying to buy, some property, some housing that we have, that we're not living in, that is being rented out. Even they've even trying to buy the house that I live in. And so the housing market, people are willing to pay, quite a bit of money for, to purchase, other people's homes. So that's just how much the as far as the market for housing, that's just how serious it is. And so if you have a mortgage, or even if you have rent, with the rent has increased, like I say, double or triple the amount that they were paying before COVID.
Right.
You cannot work on a job even making $16 an hour and only getting 15, 20 hours a week. So some people say, well, it's better than nothing, and that is true. Some people are actually having to work 2 jobs to actually make up what what it costs, because you can't really find anywhere to live, Mr. Dumas. And I hope the audience is listening. It's hard to find housing, reasonable housing, because everything has gone up. So, I just want people to think about what I'm saying when people say that they're paying 16 hours an hour. Yeah, they're not giving the people hours. When they go on these jobs, they have them thinking that they're going to be making $16 an hour, working 40 hours a week. And then when they get there and get the foot in the door, they start sending them home. They don't work all day. And so that's a lot that's happening. That explains why people are not staying on the job. They're changing jobs so often, because they, sometimes the job is out of, it may be not in Macon, and they're basically they're making traveling back and forth to work when you're not actually making the money. You're actually losing more money out of town to a job where it's costing you more money, especially now with the gas prices have gone up. So I just want people to understand basically what's happening in our economy, economically, when it comes to this Bibb County. It's basically across the country, but I'm talking about here in Bibb County because people are so quick to judge. And when you're trying to apply, when people apply for assistance, and we got to understand this is not our money. This is money that has been sent down by a federal government to assist people, and people got to understand, they got to understand this is not your money. This is money
Absolutely.
that was been sent down to help people, and we shouldn't be judging people as to why they are needing assistance. Now you have some people that come back every time they're giving out money, they're going to come back and nothing has changed. And if you've been doing this for 15 years, then you should have been made some progress in your life. But we have some companies, and I know they do that they judge people because she works at this place, but you got to look at their circumstances. You got to look at the bigger picture. They
Another
may
part
have.
of it too that we sometimes overlook is the benefits.
Right.
Medical benefits, because if you don't work a 40-hour week, chances are you're not getting medical benefits. And so if they have a family, they do need those benefits as well as the salary.
Well, people don't understand it, Mr. Dumas, but they're basically intentionally not giving
Provide
people those hours to keep from giving them health care,
exactly.
uh, uh, health benefits, dental benefits. And I'm just hoping, I just wish that, we could get Medicaid expansion to help people, because like I said, we're in a crisis right now, and you have people that, and I've said this before on the show, you have people that are not eligible for, um, health care, and not on their jobs, they're not eligible for Medicaid. And so they're basically without health from 19 to 64. If you're not disabled, if you're you have babies or children that are receiving SSI that are eligible for Medicaid. But if you're not disabled and you're between the ages of 19 and 64, then you're without health coverage unless you have some type of income, and you can apply for the affordable care. Then you're without health care, and you can't just apply for affordable care if you don't have any income.
Correct. And also, I see that some of the local um, providers that provide assistance, medical assistance, are expanding into other counties. I understand that one in particular expanding into the Twiggs County area to kind of see more people. There are more people that are in need of assistant medical care and dental care than ever before because of employment or
Right.
unemployment.
So, and I just want people to, our listeners that are out there, our branch, the Macon NAACP branch, we have partnered with the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. We partner with them, so we are able to assist persons that are behind in their rent or utilities. Um, the only thing that you would need to do, we just got to get this information out there. A lot of people are losing their apartments because they don't know how to apply, or sometimes the landlord is not telling them that they can apply. And believe it or not, Mr. Dumas, there's a lot of people out there that still are not aware that they can get assistance. We don't know whether people don't have access to the computer, or they're just computer illiterate. They're not really, don't really use the computer. So we are here to assist any persons that are behind in their rent. You can call our number at 478-745-9944, and we will be glad to set up an appointment with you. We have some people that have gone to training. We need to get some more members trained so they will be able to assist tenants and I just need to find out when the next training session is for our members to get trained. So we will be able to assist. We just did an application on Saturday. We've actually been able to get one person. They've already given us the money amount that she's going to be approved for. We did another application on this past weekend. If you're behind in your rent and utilities, please make contact with our office at 478-745-9944 again, so we can set you up an appointment, and so we can go over everything with you, so you can have all the necessary documents that you need before we get started. So that way we can actually complete your application on the day that we do your application, and we'll follow through with that application until it's approved or denied. So hopefully we won't have anyone that's denied, but we will follow through on the application until they finish it. Also, we're asking for people to join this organization. This organization has been around since 1909. We have helped a lot of people. Most people that we help do not join. And sometimes people will join and they'll file a complaint they'll join when they have a complaint, and that way they'll join also. But either way, we're asking for people to join, because if you got to be part of the solution. We help a lot of people, and we behind closed doors we do a lot of work in helping people with housing, our criminal justice, education, voting, voter education. And so that's one of the things that we're focusing on, all of that. And so we're just asking for your membership. Membership is only $30 a year. We're asking for you to join in with us to fight this fight, because like I say, if we band together, it makes our NAACP stronger, if we band together.
Absolutely. We had a comment here that was saying we need to make that a PSA, that the news, the black pages can put on blast, as far as knowing that this information is out there. We may need to have it so they can publicize it to the community.
Okay. Right. That's a good idea. Thank you so much for your comment. And that's something that we do need to do, because it's so very important that we get. It's just we dealt with so many people that are homeless, that have become homeless because them not knowing what they can do. The landlord is sending them eviction letters, say you need to be moved out by a certain date, and people really don't know that they can't just put you out. They can't just move you. I'm saying, if you have a legitimate reason, sometimes people move out, Mr. Dumas, because they know they haven't paid their rent or whatever, whatever the reason, they'll go ahead on the move. So that won't be on the criminal record. But not criminal record, that won't be on their record. But the thing about it is, if you leave and you owing money, how does that still affect your credit? Do they file something in court and you still can't find housing because they filed something in court? So, we ask people to apply for a Georgia rent assistance. I have cases right now that I've requested court records from the courts, while people have gone to court and they were evicted. And so we're investigating to find out why they were evicted when they had applied for Georgia rent assistance. We've had some people that have actually tenants have gotten paid after they've evicted people, and we've had to stop these set out. So these are investigations that we're investigating, people that have been evicted out of their homes, and they went to court. So, they say that they're not supposed to evict people once they're supposed to continue these cases, but that's not what happened with some of the cases. But we just got to get to the bottom of it.
Absolutely. And I have another suggestion before we go off the air. It says have them fill out that membership application while they're waiting on you to file the paperwork for assistance. That membership is a small price to pay to have access to all the expertise and resources, not to mention being a part of the organization.
And
so,
that's true. Thank you so much. We're going to take your advice on that. Like I said, we're going to get our website back up and running. We did have a website, got to get that up back and running. So we're going to probably post something in the Georgia
absolutely.
people of our partnership and asking for membership.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll join us next Monday when we'll have a special guest. Thank you and enjoy your day.
See you next time.
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrooks and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participant